And I think we are now live on American Hammers TV. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Monday Night Transfer Roundup. Little bit different tonight. Typically, we do a three-headed monster. Tonight, we're not going to do that. Got Jeremiah on. Jeremiah, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. We're just gonna have to carry the load with Nick. Apparently, he's got bigger things to do.
Nick does have bigger things to do tonight. We'd like to mention that the show is actually called the Monday Night Transfer Roundup with Jeremiah and Scott. No, Nick, because Nick has a date. So, Nick, wherever you are, buddy, we hope the transfer rumors come through. If you know what I mean, we hope you have a successful signing season, and we'll just
Very
leave it from
successful.
there. The Hugel chat has already started. Hey, folks, this is American Hammers TV. I'm Scott Davis. I'm Denver West Ham. Jeremiah. You got what's your handle on Twitter, there, buddy?
It's J Carson _ 1755.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. Hey, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about transfers. There's been a little bit of movement. Sounds like there's movement on with Holler as well today. Rondon's on his way going. There's been a lady signing today. We'll mention that quickly. Looks like Byram's on the move, and just some other folks. I'm going to be watching the chat while we're talking here. If you have comments or questions for us on the chat, which you can't see that I'm pointing at, but there's a monitor over there with your chat on it, really honest. Charlie and PG are already on. Gentlemen, welcome tonight. Let us know. We're brought to you by Stravacraft Coffee and Drinkware Design. Guys, thanks for the support. Thanks for looking after us. Tim and Lee have a new shirt challenge going on with Bonfire. I did actually order the yellow kit because it looked kind of wacky. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of worked for me. So take a look at American Hammers TV on Twitter. Take a look at some of their postings with respect to their merchandising. And hello, Tom Atherton. My gosh, we have the Englishman on tonight. A couple lads out from the UK. We actually interviewed them quite some time ago here. All right, so let's get right at it. Jeremiah, transfer news. It sounds like Sam Byram is on his way out the door. Have you seen this yet?
I have seen that. It looks like he is not. Where was he going to?
Well, we don't know. We don't know yet.
Not sure yet, right?
Can we pour a big one out for Big George, please? Sorry, guys, we're not going to be able to do that much for Jordan Hugel. He's going to Madrid. It sounds like it wasn't for a heck of a lot of money. It sounds like we got 750,000 pounds for him, and we got. We're not doing cricket tonight, boys. It sounds like the basic thing there was to get Sam Byram off our wage structure, get him out the door. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the preseason, right? Oh yeah, you and I talked about this on Green Street Hammers. We saw him on the preseason match against the Austrian club. Again, he didn't light my world on fire. Did he look that especially good to you?
I mean, no, he looked okay. He looked how you kind of expect him to look. He kind of came out, missed the first pass, whatever. It's preseason, but yeah, didn't light the world on fire. He did have a kind of good opportunity in there. He kind of got up the pitch and was able to get on the attacking side of things once or twice, and that looked okay. But yeah, once again, I mean, more power to him, and I'm kind of glad for him, I guess, as a footballer to see that he's going to go off somewhere and possibly get to play. Don't know where. Yeah, like you said, the fees are not very high, but don't really expect that.
Yeah, we didn't get a heck of a lot of money for Perez. We didn't get a lot of money for Byram, and there's my understanding is that Hugel actually had a deal done with Preston North End, but they couldn't agree a fee structure, so that fell apart. They couldn't agree a wage structure for him, so he obviously asked for premiership money from a championship club.
He heard your Hugel to Madrid talk, so now he wants money.
Yeah. David Thornton's already thrown on here saying, Byram looked like he was arguing with people about poor passes. He never made the level. Hey, Wally, Nick, thanks. Nick, thanks for taking time out of your date there, buddy. We appreciate that.
That's not good. Maybe the date's over.
The date is over. Apparently, the transfer was not successful. But anyways, it looks like we're starting to move some of these guys who just you never cut the club. I was also asking earlier on today, Oxford didn't go to China as far as I could tell. What what do you think? What is this saying to you? Do you think we're finally we're finally going to see Reese Oxford go away?
I think this might be it. A lot of speculation behind him and Cullen really, because they have been with the club for a while and haven't really had a whole lot of first team experience coming out. So I do think that it's possibly now or never. And the fact that he's not in China or we haven't seen him, he wasn't on the initial roster. And I know there was 2 slots left that
Yeah.
they could have went up to 25, but I haven't seen anything about him being there. So to me, that says you're probably out.
Yeah. There's. I'm always going to feel, and I've said this before, I'm always going to feel like Reese Oxford was a miss. So much talent, so much ability. Captain of our underage team. Won the under 21 World Cup, I think, a couple of years ago. Just
Mhm.
uh, like, frankly, a man with a ton of skill and all the attitude problem in the world. I have seen a couple of more comments recently um, about people getting pissed off about the kind of money that's getting thrown on, how agents are so much controlling the game. Some comments coming from the English media about how it's time to kind of rein all this in. And I mean, you look at it. What did what did we pay for Bayern? Was it 2 million? It
I
wasn't a
think it
lot.
was no 2 million maybe. Yeah.
And then I mean, I know that the Jordan Hugel thing, there's something fishy there because we paid 10
Mhm.
million for him. Uh, those kind of fees are crazy. But now we're talking about guys being traded for or being sold for like 80 million pounds, 100 million pounds. I mean, earlier on this year when we were talking about the possibility of having our French center back, whose name's completely skipping my mind right now.
Diop.
Thank you. Brain cramp. Sorry, folks. Talking about him going to Manchester United, which never happened. I jokingly said 75 million pounds. I'm starting to see the numbers like that and going, you know what? 75 million pounds, he might be worth it. I'm understanding that Haller is actually getting closer too. Have you heard about this?
I have. It seems like it's closer. It depends on where you read it and where you're looking on Twitter. Some places say the deal's already been agreed upon. Some places haven't. It just really depends. But I do think it is closer. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or next day, but hopefully it is soon, and hopefully it is true. But yeah, you're right, dude. The wages have gotten crazy. I think talking about Man United and talking about center backs with Harry Maguire. Did I see they put in something like 80 million for him? Is that right?
Something like that. That was the one that kills me. I mean, I don't think Harry Maguire is a terrible footballer. Don't
No.
don't don't get me wrong, but 80 million pounds.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't want to disrespect the guy. I mean, his agent's doing his job, trying to push his value and his worth, but 80 million pounds. What did Gareth Bale sell for a few years ago from Tottenham over to Real Madrid?
I can't even remember, but I think it. I mean, realistically, it wasn't anywhere close to that, or maybe it was, but I doubt it. For the type of player, they don't add up.
Anybody in the chat, if you know that what Bale sold to Real Madrid from Tottenham for, I'd love to hear it. It's we're seeing some crazy, crazy million numbers. Oh, David Thornton, Maguire, 50 million max. Sorry if they have 80 million. Get the guy from Ajax instead. And Gaz is actually pointing out Bale went for 80 million pounds.
Okay.
I would take it. Listen, Christian Bale is a phenomenal football player. And he's got the hair to replace it's got the hair to replace our Geordie Wizard that we lost.
Yeah.
Um, but Gareth Bale, sure, 80 million pounds. Harry Maguire, I don't think so. One of the core things I'm also getting, and Tony Clark, you're love my life for saying that. One of the core things that's happening is if you're an English player, your value went up because we need to keep those squad places going, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, and that's something you haven't thought about, but that's coming into a lot of effect this season, the past season, and I think just too the money in the era that we're in right now. I mean, prices are going to go up. I mean, you look at, yeah, Maguire's the one. Van Dijk was the other one from Liverpool. I think somewhere in the hundreds plus. So yeah.
Yeah. David Thornton has pointed out that the requirement is homegrown, so any academy player under 21 counts regardless of country. Doesn't have to be British or
Okay.
UK or whatever. And this is part of what Brawley was talking about on the West Ham or American West Ham podcast. Part of the reason why we grabbed Martin is just to make sure that we had another English player on our roster, and he
because we're
cost us.
losing quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't cost a whole lot. So I mean that is driving this price up, but it seems ridiculous. I mean,
It is.
I'm old enough to remember when Mario Lemieux in hockey signed for $10 million a year, and no athlete in the world is worth $10 million a year. Now these guys aren't getting paid 10 million, but the transfer fees are just stupid.
They're nuts, and like we talked about on Green Street Hammers last week, a lot of these guys, even people like Declan Rice, are making more in a week, than the average person makes in a month, or in a year for that matter. So yeah, it's just madness.
And then you got guys like Declan Rice, who look, we know he gets accelerated bonuses, playing for England, appearances, etc. But his base wage is like 35 or 40,000 pounds a week,
Hmm.
and then you've got guys getting multiples of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So with that, hey, let's spend a few minutes. Let's talk about some rumors. So we know it's been told today Byram has been sold, and it's going to be reported next day by the club that bought him. There's a few clubs that came out there. I can't remember who they were. Hugel, like I said, he was offered over to Preston North End. Preston had actually agreed the deal, but he turned down the money. With Reese Oxford not being in China, a link came out today for Swansea. What do you think about that, Jeremiah?
I mean, it could be a good fit. I think that Swansea's going to be reeling for players and young English players. He's still got a lot of time. I mean, he hasn't quite hit the Ravel Morrison trend where it's almost past his time, but he could still come back. Swansea would be a solid club to do it at.
You bring up Ravel Morrison. I'm almost waiting for somebody to go, look, we need an English player. What do you think? You can get him for nothing right now, and he'd probably be thrilled to get a chance to even get into the practice squad. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Oh, David Thornton pointed out, and David, I think you're talking about the Swansea thing here. Swansea wants a loan for Oxford, but we want to sell, so it's going to be difficult there. Um, oh, that's right. Timothy Malkin pointed out. Ravel actually had a trial over at Sheffield. If anybody has an update on him there, I mean, and to me, I think frankly, that's why he's there.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I mean, and hopefully for his sake, he can turn around and figure it out. But he is getting past the kind of prime level, and he's had too many bad opportunities.
Okay, hang on a second. I got yelled at from downstairs. Just sorry, I have an emergency child thing. Hey, buddy, I'm busy. Sorry about that, guys. I'm Jeremiah. Just as you've got the 3 kids at home, I got 2, and one of them's arguing with me over my shoulder here. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, it looks like Rondon's off to China. It looks like he's going to follow. Oh gosh,
Mogo?
yeah, he's going to go follow Mogo out there, and they can start a fan club for each other out there. What do you think? Is that a miss? Is it a miss to have him not end up at West Ham?
I think he would have been a good fit. I do like the player, but I still just have to kind of use the old cliche thing. I'm just going to trust Pellegrini and trust Tucilios and what they're doing. I think that if it didn't work out, they didn't really want it to work out necessarily. And I would agree. I would like to get him, but it's probably going there for the money, have a few years, and we'll probably see him back.
Yeah, and that came up today in Hammer's chat. They were talking with X earlier on today, and it sounds like he's like, look, I'm looking at my age. I need a big paycheck. I still
Mhm.
argue that, as they get paid silly money, but their careers are
Yeah.
so short. Somewhere along the way, you kind of got to go. I got to retire. So I can completely see why he's going there, and it doesn't sound like there's any loss of like any hard feelings anywhere. I don't think Newcastle's heard by him going or anybody else heard by him going. So it sounds like he's leaving at least on his own terms. He's not leaving anybody high and dry, Muggo. But yeah, so a bit more of a making it a bit more real for him as a human being, and I have a lot of respect for that. Um, so what do you think? The other name that came up a little bit recently was Mbappe, and it seems pretty unlikely at this time he's going to come over. Oh, and I'm also getting grief. I call him Holler. It's Aller, Arle. If somebody's on that chat wants to
Holler
correct
with a
the silent H. It's a French H. Aller. Um, he sounds real. I actually took a little bit of time and looked at him, and I took a look at some of the stats compared to Marco from last year. He's better in the air. He doesn't shoot as much, but
Mhm.
his shooting percentage is better, and he gets more assists. Do you think that this is a sign if we're going to keep Chicharito that we're going to play with two up front, or do you think we're going to rotate?
I don't know. It's tough. I think it might be a rotation just depending on who we're up against. You know, what the style of the team we're coming up against. I think Pellegrini's shown that he will stick to one thing, but it seems like depending on who we're playing, he's willing to switch. He's not stuck in and just kind of go with it. So I do think that maybe we might start up with two, but in doing that, obviously, we're going to take somebody out of the midfield that probably shouldn't be taken out.
Well, and this is kind of what's got me confused because when I've listened to what Pellegrini's talked about how he wants to play this year, it sounds like he wants to have Fornals on one side, somebody on the other, probably Anderson, and Lanzini in the middle. If we're playing those three guys, as support to forwards, I don't think we're going to play 2-3-1-4. That we leaked defensively pretty badly last year. I could
Yeah,
see 1-3-2-4. And I know I'm doing it backwards. I'm just counting from the top. Sorry, guys.
yeah,
Um,
you're confusing me.
four defenders, two defensive mids, three in the center, and two up top or one up top, whatever the number works out to be. We still seem to leak a lot of goals, and there's still a lot of concern about the solidity of our backs.
Mhm.
I'm more comfortable with two at the back. I think you and I both agree that Sanchez is not the fit.
No, Sanchez is not a fit. Besides his afro header that he put in, other than that, he looked pretty horrific. I mean, no judgment from me. I'm not out there playing, but yeah, pretty horrific.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, he scored a goal, a beautiful shot off the afro, but the first goal that the Austrian club got, I mean, late man coming in, he stood there and
Mhm.
watched them pass that ball. It was just awful. It
It
was
was tough.
all the bad things that I've been afraid about Sanchez came out in that one place. I mean, he was brought in to be a central defensive midfielder to shore up our defense. And I really think that the game plan from Pellegrini last year was that he would play and Rice would fill in. Uh,
Mhm.
Rice Rice was a revelation to me last year. I mean, we knew he was good. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of minutes he played and how well he played and how he continued to get lots and lots of opportunity to play well really showed me how much better he was. And then you see Sanchez come in and just, I'm sorry, crap the bed. It was terrible. Uh,
Hmm.
and let's see. So who else is left to join the club right now? It sounds like Fornals. Is Fornals out in China, or is he waiting until the club comes back?
I believe he was on the roster. I think he was on the roster. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do think he was on the roster.
Yeah, and the other
Um,
thing is Mazuaku is done now. Somebody saw him down either at Canada Water or something like that in London the other day or something like that, and they're like, "Why
mhm.
isn't he with the club?" Well, he just finished the Afcon, so he'll
Yeah.
join the club here sometime soon. But oh, hang on, he's not in China. Fornals is in London right now. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so well, maybe he's one of the two spots. Maybe they'll bring him in, or maybe they won't. I don't know. Hey, who knows? Maybe Man City doesn't even show up. It sounds like it sounds like their plane had a heck of a time getting off the ground. It sounds like they finally left today. They were supposed to leave 2 days ago to get out for the Asia Cup. So I'm really hoping we catch them really jet lagged and really. I'm sorry, Man City fans. I don't hate you, but I want to beat your team really bad. I want to.
I
I,
know.
I, I don't want to start with a loss. Um,
Regardless if it's in Asia or not, yeah, you want to beat Man City and
yeah,
you want to take
yeah.
it to them. I do want to point out real quick. I don't know if you're already getting to it. I just got an update on my phone from X that it looks like the team that Sam Byram's gone to is actually Norwich. So
Norwich.
yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't. Yeah, that's interesting. Robbie Hart likes to point out to me that he thinks that Jet Lag City is still miles better than their own team. Yeah, hope so. See, City landed today. David Thornton tells me that Arthur was actually seen at Canary Wharf, Canada Water. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm Canadian. I'm going to think of the Canada water side. Tim Melican, after giving me grief, or me giving him grief, and everybody giving grief for his hair last night. Yeah, Tim, I did the hair for you, buddy. I was thinking of you. What else we got? A lot of people really think very poorly of Sanchez. Although I did see that Charlie Walsh says he thought Sanchez was fine last year, but in the friendly he was a tad trash. Charlie, I'm going to be upfront. I think he's just trash. I think his days are behind him. Tim Melican, how about those Chippendale costumes the squad was training in? Did you see those? Those purple tops they're
Oh
training in?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Those are interesting to say the least. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the third kit looks like too, especially with people's descriptions of what it might look like. Yeah.
well, if they come playing out in bow ties, it'll be awful. Uh, Chicha was not flattered by that costume. Yeah, thanks, Wally. I would tend to agree. I did see a picture of Chicharito. Um, well, the purple vest did not flatter Chicharito. Although if he had the
No.
orange hair, it'd be a heck of a contrast. All right. Let's see. A couple other comments I want to make here. Oh, one thing I want to throw to one other thing I want to throw out here is it sounds like Zon de Silva is he's not. I thought he was injured. It turns out he's really ill. He's in hospital. It sounds like he's like on the mend. What that makes me concerned was number one, first Zonde. If not that I expect you to watch this, get healthy. But what does that do for us in strikers? I mean, do you think we end up holding on to Hugel?
I mean, I think with the ideal that Hugel might be on the way out, that brings a little confidence to me to be able to sit there and think that we might have Holler or Aller or whatever his name is come in, or somebody's coming in if we're going to be willing to let go of one of our three, possibly two forwards. Yeah.
Yeah, all air, all air. There we go.
Aller, not it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Nick, whose date is apparently not going well, he would play Allaire and Chicha together. Allaire is used to a multi-striker system, and his production, goals, assists. And I think, in all honesty, that really that suits Chicharito as well. And I think we're going to be forced if we don't sign another striker. I think the formation we showed against the Austrian team in the warm-up, we're going to see Antonio out front.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Antonio for now. And you're right. I mean, the comparison to him to Chicharito, they're the same player. They feed off of balls into the box, and he's a little bit bigger than Chicha is. But I think maybe that might concern me a little bit if they're both the same player sitting around waiting for that ball to come in. We're going to have the attacking midfield to play with it, but I don't know. I'm still kind of torn. I don't know if I want to go one striker or two.
How big is Allaire? Do you know? Is he a big lad or a bit like a big physical lad?
He's pretty solid. I think he's at least 6 foot, if not taller. But I do think he is a pretty solid guy. He's not scrawny by any means.
Well, I mean, like Chicharito feeds off well, and this is coming up on the chat as well. Chicharito really feeds off well if there's a big physical guy. Oh, 6'3", so he's pretty tall, and I think he's fairly beefy as well. So
Yeah.
I mean that really would actually fit Chicharito's game really well, to have some big dude there to take the punishment, take the abuse, be physical, and I know this is going to drive people crazy. This is part of the reason why I would have loved to have Mitrovic there. He's not as tall, but he's just a big, beefy dude. And I mean, he would take a lot of physical abuse, and then Chicharito could clean up and put it away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you saw it even in the preseason. Even on that one, I'm trying to remember which goal it was, but Chicha was right there waiting for the rebound like he always does. So yeah,
and that's where he's amazing. Has
mm-hmm.
Is he still not scored a goal from outside the box in the Premier League?
Didn't he score one last year? Or maybe he didn't. No, I don't think he did.
I know he hammered a ball really beautifully from outside the box, but I think it went wide. I think every other goal he's ever scored in the Premiership is from within the box. So, I mean, there was a friend of mine who's a big fan of the Mexican team, and I can't remember the word is in Spanish, but it translates to, he calls him the trash man. David Thornton, 0, not even zero ever, not in the Prem, scored outside so he's never scored from outside the box. Thanks, guys. David, by the way, I love the feedback. coming down in the chat. It's really helpful tonight. As you can tell, there hasn't been a heck of a lot of things. Charlie wants to know, we'd rather fight 10 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck. We'll leave that one alone, okay, buddy? We'll get that another night. I do have 10 questions here coming up in a few minutes for Jeremiah. As you can tell, it's a pretty slow night in our world of transitions. I think we're all kind of holding our breath and waiting. I want to throw it to the folks in the chat room here right now. Hang on, I gotta take a look who's out here. We got Charlie Walsh, David Thornton, we got Gaz, Nick Stamper, who should be on a date, PJ Miller, Robbie Hart, Tim Melican, dude, thanks for helping us out, Wally. And my favorite part of this is tonight we got Wayne from Dallas. Dude, congratulations. You got a job. I'm so happy for you, man. I know you've been looking. Congratulations, buddy. So we're gonna change it up a little bit here. For those of you who've watched the show with Tim and Lee on Sunday night, and you've seen Wayne, they have a 10 question segment here. I didn't warn Jeremiah beforehand, but I have 10 questions for Jeremiah tonight. And if you guys want to come in and Dan is with Nick throwing a Dan Roberts, thanks for joining in. I'm going to throw 10 questions out to Jeremiah. We're going to see how we can do. Hey, Jeremiah, first question.
Okay.
Right now, do you like the team for this year? Do you like what you see so far?
Dude, I love the team. Year 2, the Pellegrini project, and I love the team. I love everything about it. You know, the defense looks a little weak. I am excited to see what our left and right backs do, and I'm excited to see how the more attacking midfield plays. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I think if we started the season right now, I'd be disappointed at the amount of strikers that we have, but that's about it.
Okay. Question number 2. Who's your breakthrough player of the year for us?
Breakthrough. I'm going to go with Ben Johnson. I said it before, and it seems like maybe Pellegrini might be playing with that as well. I do think at some point, whether it's on the left or the right side, he's going to get the opportunity to play and really show kind of who he is. And nobody, honestly, probably knew who he was, or you heard the name, right? But even when he started last year against City, everybody was questioning as to why. So this is huge.
Yeah. Here, let's get into a little bit of West Ham. Who's going to be your first injury this year?
Man, why are we going to get negative?
I'm getting grief from Wayne because he says no, he's got copyright on the quickfire questions. I want to be clear, they're copyright of American Hammers TV, so that's why I felt fine, Wayne.
Sure, yeah. There's no copyright infringement or anything. First injury, man, that's tough, and I don't want to go there. I'm gonna go, as much as I hate to say it, I think that maybe Wilshere might get hurt again. I want to see him healthy. I want to see him like he has been, but I just think that it's going to happen.
I'm sorry.
I'm curious what that is.
David Thornton, first injury of the year, Andy Carroll. He's going retrograde. In all honesty, I've kind of looked at the team and I've been watching kind of how it's been going, watching a little bit of training video. I actually think Wilshere's going to be okay this year. He's really looked after himself. I don't know if you saw him. They had a picture of him running through frame. That dude has some guns. Like
he looks solid. But the way he likes to play, man, he's not scared. He likes to get in, and he likes to attack, and he likes to get the ball back whenever it's lost. So he puts himself out there, which is my only fear.
Yeah, he does. I think he's going to be okay. I think actually, and I hate saying this because I'm going to call him the old guy, and he's 20 years younger than me. I think Zaba will probably be the first one to get injured. I think he's going to keep on pushing. Oh yeah, Wayne. First injury is Arnautovic. So we're hoping. Anyways, I did pose a question online a few days ago about stuff, and somebody came back and somebody said we should go slide tackle him, somehow in China, send one of the youth after him somewhere.
Find a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing our luck with injuries, it'll be Allaire. Tim says Fredericks, and David Thornton hopes Gomez breaks his leg. He's a wanker. Hang on, dad moment. All right. Sorry. Doing the dad thing. For those of you who don't get part of the reason why this is going on the way it is, my wife and kids just got back from Canada 2.5 hours ago, and I said to my wife, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing the recording tonight." And she kind of looked and said, "I'm going out. You have the children." So sorry, guys. We're double duty tonight. All right. All right. Question number 4. First win will be, and here is the first 4 games we have: City, Brighton, Watford, Norwich. Which is the first one we're going to win?
City. Straight out the gate.
Oh, you're going
Week
first
1,
game in?
City.
Oh, you're a braver man than me.
What do you think?
I actually don't think we lose to City. I think we draw City. Listen, I've said it before. I think we're a top 6 club this year, and everybody tells me I'm stupid. And Wayne says my hair is stupid, but that's okay. I think we draw City, and then we beat Brighton, we beat Watford, and we beat Norwich. We'd better beat Brighton, because a whole shed load of us are going to be in Vegas watching that game in the middle of the night after being there all day Friday. For those who don't know, some of us are going to go hang out with ex WHU employee Dave Walker. Baz Cox is coming over. What's her name? Lena will be there. She'll be there, and I'm sure she'll be entertaining. And a few other lads are going to be there, and Brawley from American West Ham podcast stuff. So, guys, come to Vegas. It's going to be hilarious. What's that? Cody Barrett. Brighton will beat us 3-0. Dude, there'd be bloodshed in Vegas. Hey, question number 5 for you, sir. Stupidest transfer you can ever remember?
I'm going to surprise you and not go with Hugo, but I'm going to say Lucas Perez last year. I just
Really?
think that was, I mean, I know he saved us on a couple games, but didn't get it. Absolutely didn't get it. Weird timing. And yeah, I was trying to think through that real quick in my head, and now other things are flashing back. But I don't think Hugo was the dumbest. I just don't think he ever got a chance. I don't know what that was about, but what do you think?
Well, there seems to be something odd in Moyes' brother as his agent, and there was a contract. There's something odd going on there. So I kind of throw the Hugo one out. I think that's kind of a gift to say, yeah, I'll come manage your team, but you take care of my boy. Fine. I can't really say that Perez really satisfies me in any way. Emenike.
Yeah.
That one bothers me. That really bothers me. I'm seeing Benny McCarthy. Guys, I got to tell you, I don't even know who that is. Like so if somebody wants to give me some stats on Benny McCarthy on when we signed him, I'd love to hear it.
I mean, if you want to talk about busts, Emenike was a bust. I feel like he always got in, but then the shot was, wide or whatever. Zaha was a big bust.
Oh, crazy. Zaha was hilarious. But did you hear he scored 6 goals in a friendly this weekend? It was hilarious. It's like, what, did the other team not? They're playing a youth team.
Oh, I feel like he scores anywhere except when he's playing for West Ham, which is statistically true.
Yeah. Wow, I can't read this, Tim. I can't read your whole comment out loud because I have children over here. Slaven Bilic as manager was the dumbest freaking signing ever.
Paraphrased.
Cagliari was crap. Oh, we signed Benny in 2010 from Blackburn. Blackburn did not score a goal. And somebody's throwing my boy Razvan Rat under the bus. Razvan was great. One of the greatest right backs in the history of the English Premiership.
Really? I did forget about Jonathan Cagliari, whatever.
Cagliari.
Forgot about Cagliari. What about Havard Nordtveit?
But him? Actually, Harvard wasn't bad because we either we got him on a free or for next to nothing, and we sold him for £4 or £5 million. So he was not a great player, but he made us money. So
he did.
Not a great experience for us. How about youth wise in the last couple of years? Who's that? Who's a young kid like? Yes, we respect Razvan in his onesie. Uh, Youth-wise, what was Tony Martinez? You know, he kind of bothers me. He strikes
Yeah,
me as one of our worst signings ever, not because he's a terrible player. He didn't play at our level, but there just seemed to be so much there, and it never came through.
with him, it never came through. Uh, and just in the last couple of years, you have what's it, Martin Samuelson or whatever. Who knows?
You're
I
hurting my
mean,
soul, man. I love that kid.
I love him, but we haven't really seen much, right?
No,
Haksabanovic or however we go on that. I mean, same thing.
Haksabanovic.
Yeah.
That one of our semi-Serbs there. I don't even know where he's from. Is he from?
You're gonna hurt Nick if he's not if he is from like Serbia somewhere.
Oh, yeah, Gaz. I didn't really think that you meant to say that Nathan Holland was one of our worst signings ever. Thank you, buddy. Haxa was backdoor on the Arnie deal. There's a lot of backdoor involved with Arnie. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's change it a bit. We're going to get back to the questions. Question number 6. If I gave you 10 million pounds right now, who are you going to go buy?
You and all the other Canadians out there are gonna love it. Do I even have to say his name? It's your boy,
Jonathan David,
Jonathan
my
David.
boy.
You've sold me. You've sold me on him. I didn't want anything to do with him. I researched him. I YouTube him, and I love him.
Oh, he's playing in Belgium. He's a Canadian lad. Scores a goal every third. Actually, his transfer market value right now is 4 million pounds. That's what somebody has him for. He won the Golden Boot at the Gold Cup this year. 6 or 7 goals, several assists. And I'm sorry, he was playing on the Canadian club. That was an awful club we sent out there. So for him to get that kind of level of goals, he's pretty good. It'll never happen, but I can dream. So Husilios, I know you're watching. Jonathan David, come on, buddy. I thought about this for a while, and to be fair, I didn't actually think about Jonathan David. There's a 7 million pound defender at Ajax who is a right back, and I forget his name, and I jokingly said, we shouldn't sign him. I went back and looked at his stats, and he was really good. And they only want 7. He's 27 years old, but 7 million pounds nowadays? That's nothing.
Is it? What's his name? Like, is it Velkins?
Something like that. I'm hearing Cody Barrett wants Dotson, young Minnesota United outside back. See, this is the kind of thing. Okay. One of the things I'm really loving about seeing some of the comments here is we're getting a lot more people who know a lot more of some of the obscure players like out there. I mean, there's people who are starting to watch MLS, and I mean, as much as I make fun of Nick for being Serbian, the dude watches so much European football. He'll come up with names I've never heard of and he'll go off. Veltman was the name. That's the guy. There's all sorts of names that you'll come up with, and I'm like, who is this guy? And you look, and you go, oh, guy's transfer value is 10 million, 13 million, 5 million. Mm-hmm. And he's a little bit older, but he fills a hole. So lots of that. All right, let's start talking about the table a little bit. Come December 25th, who's in last place in the English Premiership?
So I think the easy bets would obviously be either Norwich, Sheffield, or I'm gonna surprise a couple folks with this. I think because I've been thinking a lot about this with people leaving, their manager leaving. I think Newcastle's on a dive. Now, I know that's a big hit for a lot of people because they do appreciate Newcastle, and a lot of West Ham fans appreciate Newcastle. And Brawley talks highly of them. I don't know if Brawley's on tonight, but I just think Newcastle is going to dive with what they've let go and what they're going to lose.
I was going with Newcastle. It sounds like they're talking to Steve Bruce coming in and to become the manager. There's no energy there. They've started getting rid of people. I'm hearing Brighton. I don't know if Thibaut, I see what you're saying, buddy. I don't know if I'm going there. Gaz, Sheffield United, hopefully. in my heart,
Hopefully.
I so badly wanted to go to that away match, wear the Carlos Tevez match face mask, but yeah. No, I really don't think this is going to be the year for Newcastle. I think with all the crap's going on, like they're expected to be sold to Arab oil money. Never happened. Yeah, it's just bad.
Where's Fat Sam at? Where's Sam Allardyce at when you need him?
Yeah. Well, actually, Cody Barrett just says he thinks Steve Bruce rejected the job. Charlie Walsh, he's wondering if Burnley could low-key get relegated. Charlie, I'm going to say I disagree with you. I think they really struggled last year because of how much energy they had to put into Europe at the beginning of the season. They never solidified. I think Burnley will be fine this year. I don't think they'll be great. I see them, 13th or 14th. Oh, Tim Milliken. Sam refused a job first. Tim, if you're in earnest about that, if you're not joking, that'd be funny. The Sam Allardyce turned down Newcastle.
They're in trouble.
Oh. No. Oh, there we go. Dave Thornton. No. Bruce is a Geordie. He left Sheffield today. He'll take the job. And Wayne says Burns going down. All right. Jeremiah, question for you, buddy. If you could shake hands with one current West Ham United player, who is it?
For me, it's easy. It's Mark Noble. Absolutely 100% Mark Noble. From the time I became a West Ham fan to now, he has been Mr. West Ham for me. Absolutely 100%. There'd be a lot of hands I'd want to shake, but if I could only pick one, it would be him.
I understand what you're saying there. For me, I really thought about this a long, hard after I wrote the question up for you. And I thought, I want to go shake Declan Rice's hand. I think he's. I think. Listen, we live in a world with huge egos in sports. The guy seems real dorky. Like he seems like a real human being. I think he sounds pretty darn normal. Shout out to Rob Snodgrass. Nick Stamper was with me last year when I went to go see us against Huddersfield. He got to go meet with Rob Snodgrass real quick. Great guy. Tim Millican says there's a video Sam on TalkSport saying he said no. Gabe DeLeon, he wants to go shake Hugo's hand along with Charlie Walsh. Dave Thornton, I think he agrees with you. Zaba would be right in there with him as well. Or Zabaleta would be right in there with him. Tim, of course, you'd want to shake James Tompkins' hands. I can give you direction to Crystal Palace's training ground.
Just a little further south.
Well, here's Wayne. That's a great question. Whose neck would you like to shake? Ooh. Who would you want to grab and just shake?
This is on the current squad.
On our current lineup. Anybody but Byram.
You can't shake Byram. I don't know. You're gonna have to give me. I'm not very good at this quick fireness. Maybe it's this talking, but how about you go first? I'll think about it real quick.
Oh, for me, it's really easy. I want to go grab Reece Oxford and just shake him. I don't think he's going to be with us very much longer. Again, I've said it before. I think it's a wasted talent, a wasted opportunity. He just makes me angry. I just want to go grab and shake and just go, smarten the heck up, kid. You could have been so much better than you are. But yeah. Wayne wants to go shake Fredericks' net. PJ Miller. Sorry, Payet is not with us anymore. PJ, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Shake David Thornton. We're not shaking hands now. Now we're shaking people. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to quote what you said, but yeah, that.
I think maybe Masuaku. The dude's got a heck of an opportunity, and he has skill, whatever that looks like. But the dude's got an attitude about him, and especially with the spitting a couple years ago and everything else. But yeah, maybe just shaking him straight and being like, "Look, this is what you have in front of you. Like this is a golden opportunity for him to start and play most of the year."
Tim Milliken, learn how to pass the freaking ball. And I did have a comment from Charlie Walsh. He wants to know if David Sullivan counts. Hey, if you want to go shake David Sullivan for a while, that's fine. I do love the fact that I don't know if anybody else who runs these things gets the commentary. Like you have to choose to show certain tweets or certain comments in the chat. there's a lot of clicking going on over here for the language that we're going to leave out for the kids over here. Yeah, I'd shake Declan Rice's hand, and I would shake Reese Oxford, and you would shake the captain's hand, and you'd shake Arthur Masuaku. All right, most important question of the night, Jeremiah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Boxers or briefs?
I'm a briefs guy. I like to keep things contained, make sure stuff doesn't happen that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I'm a briefs guy. You know, they say bad things about being more snug, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the briefs.
This is American Hammers TV. We're answering the hard questions. Personally, Commando. It's just way more natural.
Well, it wasn't an option.
I wrote the question. I get to change it. Oh, let's see. Thibaut Masuaku would spit on you. And PJ Miller. Too bad we can't set up a Jerry to bitch slap David Sullivan. We'd raise a lot of money for Isla. Boxers all day from Charlie Wall, and Wayne's clearly been drinking. Wayne, I'm not reading that out, buddy. All right, this is your last question.
Okay.
Spell Mitrovic.
Mitrovic. Nick, you're gonna love this, but Mitrovic.
Well done. I prefer to say Mitrovic just because it bothers Nick because I can't spell it. I'll go back and answer these. Some of the ones I didn't answer earlier on. I really like this team this year. I really like the idea of bringing Allaire in. I don't. My gut feeling is there's one more striker out there we're looking at. Breakthrough player for this year. I think that Anderson is going to light it up. I think he's going to be a revelation for us this year. I said the first injury was going to be Zaba. I think our first win is against Brighton. Stupidest transfer for me remains Emenike. $10 million. You changed my mind. £10 million. I go get Jonathan David. That's who I go get.
Yes.
Last place by Christmas, I think it's Newcastle. I think they're going down. If you could shake hands with one person, I said Declan Rice, and then I'd shake Reese Oxford by the neck. And again, Commando, and I can't spell Mitrovic because I'm not Serbian. All right, I'm going to go back over to the chat here for a second. There's a lot of activity, and I love that. Hang on, participants. And it doesn't show up everybody, and that drives me crazy. Charlie, David, Gaz, Nick, who's got some other American guy with him there. PJ Miller, Robbie Hart, Tim Melican, Wally World, Wayne Hammer. All right, and Dave Sperry just showed up, and Dave Thornton as well. Hey, see, Thibaut, his breakthrough person could be Diangana. Tim Melican was successfully able to spell Mitrovic. Considering how he feels about him, I'm sort of surprised by that. Charlie Walsh, boxers all day. Let's see what else we got here. And I got a text. I didn't say PSJ, so we had to throw the PSJ in there. Gabe DeLeon says currently we're looking at bringing in Ronaldo. All right. Well, with a slow transfer session going on right now, we're going to call it a bit of an early night tonight because no news is no news, and we've tried to cover as much as we can tonight. I really want to thank all the crazy people with all the crazy. Wow, PJ Miller, you're on your own. With all the crazy stuff going on West Ham, I really, really enjoyed having all the chat going on over here. Jeremiah, I know it's late and the kids are in bed. Dude, thanks for making the time tonight. For everybody out there, American Hammers, this is, I believe, this is the third TV show today. They did Belfast Hammer this morning. I hate this. They did somebody else in the afternoon, and then there's a couple more things I'm going. The channel keeps on increasing its count. There's lots and lots more stuff going on. I'm really, really thrilled to see how much content is coming out of this channel. It's awesome, and the number of people who are contributing is good. Later on Wednesday, Nick and I have to do another Bitch Fest. We'll get one of those out. It's going to be tough. I'm going to be in a hotel room in Seattle, so different background. And yeah, you know what? Keep on remembering our sponsor, Stravacraft Coffee. Our folks over at Drinkware Design. take a look at the shirts that Tim and Lee are putting up on site. They're doing a great job. Big throughout right now. Please like and subscribe and spread the word. We are getting all over social media. I know Tim and Lee are fighting their way through web server issues. They apparently got boned a little bit by our friends at GoDaddy about pricing, so they're looking for another hosting server right now. And there's going to be a lot more content this week. Yeah, I want to see you out in Vegas. Jeremiah, see you in Vegas.
See you in Vegas, brother.
Nick, see you in Vegas. Wally, bunch of other folks. See you all in Vegas, guys. Have a great night, and come on, you Irons.